Okay, my sleep before working with Sleep Science Academy was awful and almost non-existent. It was pretty bad. I mean, I had years. I had insomnia for 17 years. It got worse over about 10 years, and then I think improved a little bit, but was still, I couldn't reliably fall asleep or stay asleep. And I was up for many hours and could be up for 4 straight nights in a row. And I was scared. I was anxious. I was irritable. I was frustrated. I tried what I considered to be everything under the sun, and nothing worked. And I was really a pretty stressed out person. Let's see. So I tried every medication under the sun. I tried every natural that I was aware of under the sun, and I would periodically search for the next new thing. I was doing therapy for trauma. I was doing all these gadgets like biofeedback, and I was doing the Apollo neuro, and I did CBT, and I did functional medicine to see if it was, an underlying brain problem. And I listened to sleep stories, and I'm sure there's ones I'm not even remembering. Just always trying when they had the energy to look. Well, why do I think those other things I tried didn't work? Well, clearly, I would never have been able to answer this before the course, but clearly it didn't get at the underlying problem, which was not, I had no idea that my body could sleep. And I tried to get at all the superimposed anxieties and beliefs and perceptions and paradigms, but I didn't do that effectively, clearly. And so I think they didn't work because they weren't getting at what the issue really was. Yeah, so it's pretty frustrating. Oh my God, it's like night and day. I mean, really. I'm probably going to get teary, interestingly enough, because the fact that I can now take sleep for granted is an amazing gift that I actually never thought would happen. So now so the course is 8 weeks. I've had enough nights where I have been able to let go and trust that my body would fall asleep, and it has fallen asleep, that I think I really know that my body can fall asleep on its own. And the last 3 nights were more difficult nights, but I didn't have any stress about it at all. I just sort of did what I needed to do using the tools we learned, and it was no big deal. And even though I didn't have that many hours of sleep for whatever reason, I was awake in the morning. I didn't have the irritability or all of the reactivity that I've had to a night like that in the past. It's like no big deal. I mean, it's truly amazing. So that's a little summary of what my sleep is like now. Who is this program designed for? I mean, for me, just hearing that my body could sleep was such a revolutionary thing that I think it could be for anybody who's having insomnia. But I guess that another question might be, who do I think might respond the best? If you had to, help someone choose, because it is a course that is expensive, and you have to really be able and willing to follow through. I think that's the thing. And so I think the people who would do best are people who are really willing, number one, to put in the work and prioritize the meetings, which are really, really helpful in my experience, but also people who are willing to look at very in a very granular way what ideas and beliefs and reactivities, fears, frustrations, etc., they have about their sleep, so that then you can go back to the workbook and go back to the videos and see what tools will be helpful, and then really make it a priority to use those. And there are so many that it's important to know that you can pick and choose what will be helpful and build your own toolbox. So it has to be someone who's willing to do that. I think that would be the best person for this type of, I don't even know if there's another type out there for this course. That would be the best person, the person who would be most likely to see improvement. Oh my God. That's going to make me cry too. Oh my God. You know, you have no idea how it's improved my life. You know, just in my relationship with my husband, who had to deal with all my irritability from not sleeping for so long, my ability to do more energy. So therefore, the ability to do more than just the basics that I needed to do to make, you know, our life work, keep the house running and get out with my dog and get our meals on the table. I mean, there were times, many long times, when I only had the energy to do that. So now, I mean, as a result of my long period of insomnia, there are other health things I need to deal with. But now I have the energy to do that, and I haven't been able to do that. I'm more able to interact with my friends, and I had stopped doing anything at night, even going out to an early dinner, and I've started doing that again. And I had to stop exercising other than taking my dog for a hike. And I've started exercising again, you know, within my capacity right now, but I can see where I think that I'll be able to build that. And there are probably ways that I'm not even able to relate to you right now, just so many small and big ways that this has improved my life. It's just unbelievable. So I can only say thank you to Devin and the program he's put together. I mean, really. So, you know, initially, in terms of my experience of working with Sleep Science Academy, initially, I mean, of course, it had a lot to live up to, let's put it that way, because it sounded too good to be true. And I'm always a little suspicious of those things. But it was so well organized. And yet in the beginning, I felt, even from the beginning, pretty overwhelmed in terms of all the information that was there. There's a lot of videos in the beginning, and less in the subsequent weeks. I was appreciative of all the information. And it also took me time to figure out how to access the community call, the coaching call, etc. But once I got that down and realized I'm someone who likes to master everything, and so I realized I needed to let go of that. And then I sort of eased in, and then I was worried about, well, oh my God, this is only 8 weeks, and I'm not going to feel so good about not having the program anymore. And number one, I was very happy to hear, and at the time that this came up, relieved to hear that we had access to all of the information, and that Devin keeps coming out with more information that we have access to, and also the fact that I can do a coaching session if I need to in the future. That really helped me. And interestingly, it's the end of my course, and it's like no big deal, which fascinates me as well. So That was my experience, but I mean, you can tell from the change in my life that it was a wonderful experience. Wonderful. What would I tell someone who's just starting out on their journey to solving their sleep? Well, it's interesting. First of all, solving your sleep is an interesting choice of words because, of course, everything you teach is about the fact that it's not the sleep itself is not a problem. But what I think I would tell someone is, look, even people who don't even think about sleep have nights where they don't sleep, and that you will learn, or just to know that left to its own devices, your body will sleep, but that it's all of the reactivity that happens because of not sleeping that is the real problem. The fear, the futuring, the worrying, the anxiety, the judgments, the loss of perceived loss of control, all of that, and that's what needs to be dealt with. And the sooner you do that, the sooner you will get back to your normal cycle of sleep, and that there are lots of ways that you can address those issues once you hone in on exactly what the issues are that are affecting your sleep. I think that would be how I would start, and not to let that don't let it continue for long. Try to nip it in the bud.